Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are learning Surah Nasr, the Surah of Victory, inshallah. If you want to know how to recite this perfectly and understand Tajweed rules, stay tuned, inshallah. By the end of this live session, inshallah, you will be able to recite these 3 verses with perfect Tajweed. So let's get started. We will follow the 4-step method as we have discussed in our previous sessions. So step 1 will be recitation. I will be reciting the surah. Step 2 will be Tajweed breakdown, inshallah. Step 3 will be the spellings of the surah, and step 4 will be the final recitation with corrections, inshallah. So let's get started. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. I will start again. So those who have just joined, so they can also listen to the surah. Ramadan Kareem to all of you. Thank you. Bismillah. Here we will keep this lam of the word Allah light because there is a kasra before it. So every time you see before the lam in the word Allah specifically I'm speaking about, if you see there is a kasra, you will make this lam light. But if there is a fatha or dhamma, you will make it heavy. Okay. So you will say Bismillah, Bismillah, Rahma, Rahma. Now here Ra is heavy because of having fatha on it. And Ha is from the middle of the throat. So Ha is from the halqiya letters, throat letters, and wherever we see the halqiya letters, we are trying to pronounce them from the halaq, meaning throat. If you wish to know more about halqiya letters, please let me know in the comments and I will explain everything about what are the halqiya letters and how we are pronouncing them. So for this Ha, remember to pronounce it from the middle of the throat. In order to pronounce it perfectly or correctly, you have to make the mouth wide open and you have to exhale the air out. Rahma. If you say Rahma, if you don't make it Ha from the middle of the throat, so what happened? It will replace itself with the other Ha, which is from the bottom of the throat. And if we do so, this mistake will fall into lahne jali, clear mistakes which are changing the meaning of the Quranic words. So such mistakes are haram to make, forbidden to make. So try to pronounce it from the middle of the throat. Here Rahma, Rahma. Meme is having vertical fatha, which we also called khadi harkat or khada zabar in Urdu. So you have to stretch up to one alif. Rahma, Rahma. Nirra, ra again is heavy. Noon is joining, we will join the noon with this ra. Nirrah, Nirrahim. Why I have stretched here? Rahim. This ya is madda. If you are not familiar with the madda letters, please let me know and I will explain what are the madda letters. So if you see that ya is silent, having this sign on the top, this makes the ya madda. Ya is silent here, and before such ya, if you see kasra or zir, this makes this ya madda. So it's adding one more vowel with the sound. So in normally when we see the madda letters, we stretch them up to one alif. But here, because we are pausing at meme and our second last letter is a madda letter, so we will apply the rule of madde arid. Madde arid is temporary mud, temporary stretch, and you will stretch up to three alif instead of one alif. Instead of saying rahim, you will say rahim. So let's do again. This lam is light in the word Allah. Okay, ha is from the middle of the throat. Ra is also heavy. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. So let's do again one more time, then we will break down all the tajweed rules in the surah inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. Sadaqallahul Azim. Now let's see the tajweed rulings. So in the first ayah, we have Hamza with a kasra. Okay, we call alif Hamza when it's having any fatha kasra dhamma. Then you have Dhal. Dhal is a dental letter. So in order to pronounce the letter Dhal, you have to touch the tip of your tongue to the top two front teeth. Okay, tip of the tongue will be touching the top two front teeth. And then this alif is madda, because before this alif you have a fatha. This makes this alif madda. So you will stretch up to one alif. You will say ida, ida. Okay, ida. Dhal should be from the tip of your tongue touching the inner edges of your top two front teeth. The moment you will say z is za, za. This sound if you make, then it will replace itself with the other za. And it will be incorrect recitation. So it's ida. Then you have jim with the fatha, and after that this alif is also madda. Okay, because before this alif you have a fatha on top of jim. Now you see one more sign here. This is called mud sign, stretching sign. Here we have to stretch. How much we have to stretch? It depends on which type of mud you're having. So here we have madde muttasil, attached mud. What is madde muttasil? If after the madda letters, if you see hamza, okay, after the madda letters, if you see hamza in the same word, then this mud is we are applying here. So this mud is madde muttasil. You stretch up to 2.5 alif. Okay, so you say jaa, jaa. Okay, إذا جاء Nas. No. Swad is from the musta'aliya letters, the heavy letters. And no matter it's having sukoon, fatah, kasra, dhamma, or any sign, we always, under all conditions, make it heavy. So you will say nas, nas, rullahi. So same rule which I was explaining in the word Bismillah is the same here. So specifically for the word Allah, if you see before this lam of the word in the word Allah, if you see dama or fatha, you make it heavy. If you see kasra, you make it light. So in the word Bismillah, this lam was light because of kasra before it. But here in the word Nasrullah, lam is heavy because of dama before it. Okay. Nasrullahi, Nasrullahi, al-Fath. So when we are pausing, we are making the last letter silent. Okay. So this silent is not like the English silent letters where you just exclude the letter. The silent in Arabic means you pause the sound. You don't give it any haraka. Okay, haraka is there, but we are doing pausing like here, waqf. So you will make this dama into tukun. So we will say fath, fath. So ha is again from the middle of the throat. Okay, in order to make this ha exactly coming out from where it needs to be, you need to open the mouth wide and you have to exhale the air out. Wal fath, wal fath. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح إذا جاء 2.5 ألف نصر الله لام heavy swad heavy والفتح ha is from the middle of the throat. Now let's move to the next ayah. Waw is having fatha, ra is having fatha, so ra is heavy, wara, wara, aitan. Okay, hamza ya fatha, ay, ya is lean here. So the lean letters, we have two lean letters, ya lean and waw lean. So if you see ya is having sukun, ya is sakina, and waw is sakina, and there is a fatha before it. So you will read it gentle. This is called lean letters. Ya is lean here. So you will say wara'aytan nasa. Ta is connected with this noon. Noon is having the shadda sign on top of it. It means that this noon is having nasalization here. So the rule of idgham will be applied. If you want to know what is idgham, please comment and I will explain inshallah. So this noon sound we will elongate up to one alif, the time we take to say alif one time, by taking this sound into the nose, by doing nasalization, ghunna. So we will say wara'aytan nasa, wara'aytan nasa. Never read it nasa. Some students are making these mistakes. So they see no sign on top of this alif, so they ignore it in reading. But this alif is madda here because before this alif you have fatha on top. So you have to stretch up to one alif by doing nasalization. وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ يَدْخُلُونَ. Dal is from the qalqala letters, but here qalqala will be weak because it's coming in between the word somewhere. So if the word is ending with the qalqala letters, qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal are the qalqala letters, eco-producing letters. So if the word is ending with the qalqala letters, qalqala will be much visible. It will be strong. So here, because it's in between somewhere, although it's a qalqala letters, but qalqala will be weak. Yadkhuluna. Yadkhuluna. Kha is from the musta'aliya letters, heavy letters. So you will pronounce it hu, full mouth, hu, luna. Okay, waw is again madda because before waw sakina you have dama. This makes this waw madda. So you will say yadkhuluna, yadkhuluna, fi, fi. Up to one alif we will stretch because here again ya is madda. So you will see in Quran, in any recitation of any surah, madda letters are frequently occurring. So you have to stretch up to one alif when you see them. Fa, ya kasra, fi, dinillahi. Okay, here in the word di, again, ya is madda. Noon is connected with the next lam. So, fi dinillahi. Okay, lam will be light because of the kasra before it. So, what I've told you, if it's this condition where before in the word Allah, before the lam, if you see dama, it will be heavy. But if you see kasra, it will be light. Okay, it's similarly if there is fatha before the letter lam in the word Allah, then you will make it heavy. So here, because of this kasra, this lam of word Allah will be light. Nillahi, nillahi. Afwajan is written, but we will read afwaja. Okay, why we do so? Because when we are pausing, if there is two fathas, we will remove one of them and we will make it one fatha. And the moment we do so, this alif become functional. Mostly you will see with the tanween of fatha means two fathas, you will see alif or ya written, which is extra. But in this case, when we are pausing, we are converting two fathas into one. So as soon as we will convert it to one fatha, this alif will become functional and it will be madda here. So we will read afwaja. Same, this alif is also madda. Afwaja fi dinillahi afwaja. Then next is fasabbih. Bih. Again, try to pronounce the ha from the middle of your throat. And in order to do so, you have to make your mouth wide open and exhale the air out. Fasabbih. Fasabbih. Bihamdi. Again, ha is from the middle of the throat. Bihamdi. Rabbika. Ra is heavy. This kaf is light. If this is other dotted one, like this in the word qul, it will be heavy. So here, kaf is light, but ra is heavy. Rabbika, rabbika. Ba is twice. Whenever you see the shadda sign on top of any letters, try to emphasize on that letter. Because if you don't emphasize or stress upon it, you will end up pronouncing it once. So our goal here is to pronounce it twice. So you will say Rabbi, Rabbika, Rabbika, wastaghfir, wastaghfir. The word is written wastaghfirhu, okay, but we will not read the ha because of this sign of the pause here, and on the top there is another sign. So here basically you have waqfe Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have paused on this point while reciting this surah, so we have to do so. It's wajib to do that. So you will say wastaghfir, wastaghfir, fir, ha sound should be there, and no sign on the top. Wastagh, tagh, ghain is again from the musta'aliya letters, heavy letters, or you can say full mouth letters, as well as ghain is from the top of your throat. So wastaghfir, wastaghfir, innahu. In the word inna, you stretch up to one alif, like the time you take to say alif one time because of the gunna here. So wherever you see the shadda sign on top of noon or meme, you will do nasalization in such meme and noon. So here again the rule of idgham is there. If you want to know what is idgham, comment below and inshallah I will explain. So it's innahu, innahu, nasalization, plus this ha is having inverted dama. Okay, so we will stretch up to one alif. Innahu kana, kana. So this alif is again madda because there is a fatha before it. So we will read by stretching kana. We can't say kana. We can't ignore this alif. Mostly when the letters are not having any sign on the top, you just have to ignore it. But here, because this alif is not extra, this is madda because before it is a fatha. So we will consider it. We will say kana, kana, tawwaba, tawwaba. So waw is twice because of the shadda. So we will emphasize tawwaba, tawwaba. And again, same rule we will apply here, which we have applied in the word afwaja, that when we are pausing, we have converted two fathas into one. So we said tawwa ba, and this alif become functional as a madda. So tawwaba, tawwaba. This was all about the rules of tajweed in this surah, because it's a very short surah, only 3 ayahs are there. So let's do one more recitation. This is our step 2 completed, and we will do one recitation and we will move to step 3, in which we will do spellings inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. So this was the end of our second step, in which we have broken down all the rules of tajweed. If you have any questions, you can ask me anytime while I'm reciting. Now, step 3 is the spellings. Okay, so let's see how to do the spellings in this surah, inshallah. So when it comes to this, okay, this is Hamza. Hamza kasra I, Dhal, Alif Fatha, The, Either. Now, one may ask why I have read this Alif Hamza and this as Alif, because there is a difference. So specifically for this script I'm speaking about, in the Pak script, whenever you see that Alif is not having any sign on top of it, so you will say this is Alif. But the moment you give it any sign, Fatha, Kasra, Dhamma, then you will say this is Hamza, because then its rules will be placed with the Hamza. Apparently it will be Alif, but now we will call it Hamza. Okay, I hope it's clear. Hamza kasra I, Dhal alif fatha the, either, Jim alif fatha ja, and Hamza fatha a, ja. We will stretch up to 2.5 alif. Ja, ja. Nasrullahi, Noon Sod fatha, Nas, Ra Lam Dhamma, Rul, Nasrul, Nasrul. Lam vertical fatha, La, Nasrullah. Ha kasra, He, Nasrullahi. Waw Lam fatha, Wal, Fa Ta fatha, Fat, Wal Fat, and then this Ha is also, we are making it sakin because of the pausing here. So we will say Wal Fath, Wal Fath. We can continue reading it because of this lam alif la sign is telling, but for the beginners or for ordinary people like us, we are just reciting. I will always recommend that do by pausing in order to avoid the mistakes. But you will see that some reciters are reciting very beautifully. They don't pause, they connect. So this is also correct. Okay, Ahil, if you have any question, you can ask me. Mashallah, it's good that your mom is contributing in her and your akhirah by teaching you. If you have any question, like which rules you are lacking or you are having problem with, you can ask me and then I will explain, inshallah. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. wal fath. Okay. Now next ayah is waw fatha wa, ra fatha ra. Ra is having fatha, so we will make it heavy. Wa ra. Hamza ya fatha ay ta nun fatha tan. Wara ay tan. Noon alif fatha na. So you will do nasalization here as if you are holding something and dropping it. Wara ay tan tanna tanna. Sin fatha sa. Wara ay tan nasa. Wara ay tan nasa. So how we are reading the word? We never say nasa. 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 Wara ay tan nasa. Ya dal fatha yad. خاء دما خو يدخو لام واو دما لو يدخلوا يدخلوا نون فتحنا يدخلون يدخلون فا يا كسرة في يدخلون في دال يا كسرة دي يدخلون في دي Noon, lam, kasra, nil, and lam is having vertical fatha. So lam vertical fatha la, nil la, fi dinillah, ha kasra hi, fi dinillahi. Lam is light. Okay, never make it heavy while reciting. Fi dinillahi. Hamza fa fatha af, waw alif fatha wa, afwa, and Jim alif fatha ja, because these two fathas we will reduce them to one because we are pausing here. Afwaja, afwaja. ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا. Okay. Fa fatha fa, sin ba fatha sab. Fasab ba ha kasra bih. Bih. Fasab bih. This ha should be from the middle of the throat. Okay. Fasab bih. Ba kasra bi. Ha mim fatha ham. Biham. Dal kasra di. Bihamdi. Fasabbih bihamdi. Ra ba fatha rob ba kasra bi. Robbi ka fatha ka. Robbika. Robbika. Emphasize on ba in order to pronounce it twice. If you say Rabbika, you will miss one ba. Robbika. Robbika. And ra heavy full mouth. As your mouth is full and you're trying to speak. Robbika. Waw sin fatha was. Now, never say it wa us. Okay, because our priority is to join this waw with the fatha with this sin. So whatever will come between it, we will drop it. Okay, sin is dependent on waw. If we read alif, we won't be able to read sin. So the letters which are silent or sakina, they are dependent. They are not independent like fatha kasra dama ones. They are always dependent on the previous letter, which is having fatha kasra dama, in order to carry on recitation. And you can't read them on your own. And also you can't read them with the previous letter because this alif is having nothing. So this alif we will exclude. We will join waw with the sin. Was. Ta ghain fatha tagh. Tagh. Ghain is from the upper throat and it will be heavy as well. Was tagh. Fa ra kasra fir, and then ha is also sakin because of the waqf here. And this waqf here, as I explained, this is because of waqf Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That this means that if you see this only ta, it means waqf, like a full stop. But if you see this also, like there is a sign, another sign on top. If you see this sign also, and explanation is saying that this is waqf Nabi, it means that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have paused here while reciting. So we have to do so by following his sunnah. Okay. Wastaghfir. Wastaghfir. Hamza noon kasra in, noon fathana. Inna. Hold the noon sound and then drop it in order to do the gunna. Okay. Try to feel the sound, feel the vibration into your nose. Inna. Inna. Ha is having inverted dhamma, so you will stretch up to one alif, meaning the time you take to say alif one time. innahu, innahu. Kaf alif fatha ka, nun fatha na, kana, kana. Never say it kana because alif is having nothing, so we can ignore. No, this alif is madda here. So whenever alif is madda, you will not see any sign on top of it. So how you can detect that this is madda? You have to see what's before it. If there is alif having no sign and before it you have the fatha on top of it, then it means that alif is madda. Ka na, nun fatha na, ka na. But when the waw is madda, for example, in the word yadkhulu, you will see sukoon on top of waw, and before that you will see dama. If there is any other sign, then this waw is not madda. Same go for ya. Ya is having sukoon, and if you see kasra before it, this makes ya madda. Like you will add one more vowel with the sound. I will explain it in a moment that what are the vowels. So you will say the instead of saying the, you will say the. Stretch up to one alif. Okay. So when waw and ya are madda, you will see there is a sukoon sign on top of it. But when alif is madda, you will not see any type, any sign, because the moment we will place any sign on top of alif, it will be hamza. It will not be alif anymore. And this is a very easy differentiation between hamza and alif. Most of the students are asking me all the time, like, what is the difference between alif and hamza? So remember that when alif is having nothing, it's alif. The moment you put any sign on top of it, now it's hamza. Okay, by the looks it will be alif, but by the rules it will be, now its rules will be placed with this original hamza. Okay, same rules which we are applying with this hamza will apply with alif also if it's having any fatha kasra dama on top of it. So here is the word innahu. Innahu. Noon is having nasalization to try to hold the sound into the nose. Innahu kana tawwaba. Ta waw fatha. Taw waw alif fatha wa. Tawwa. Emphasize on waw in order to pronounce it twice. If you say tawa in hurry, then you will end up pronouncing one waw. So our aim is here to pronounce it twice because there is one hidden waw here. If you open the shadda, you will see two waws. Same in English, if we have to show the doubling, what we do? We write the letter twice, like A double P L E apple. But in Arabic, we write the letter once, like A P L E apple, and on the top of P, you put this sign. It means that the letter is twice. Okay? Tawa and ba having two fatha. It's written ban, but we will read it tawaba. Because of the pause, we will reduce two fathas to one. Tawaba. And the moment we do so, this alif will become functional. So I'm repeating again. Most of the time you will see alif is written with the tanween of fatha. Okay, with the two fathas, always you will see alif or ya. So when we are doing spellings, we ignore it. But here, because we are pausing and reducing two fathas to one, then this alif will be madda here. Okay, so instead of saying tawaban, we will say tawaba. Tawaba. Sorry. Tawaba. So this was the end of step 3 where we have done the spellings. Now let's recite one more time. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. Now, step 4 is the commonly mistakes that people are making here. Common mistakes. So first of all, we need to see wherever the letter is heavy, we need to give that letter its right by making it heavy. Okay, this is, if you don't make it heavy, you will fall into lahne khafi, the hidden mistakes, which will not change the meaning of the Quranic words, but they will destroy the beauty of recitation. Same goes to not adhering the rules of nun sakin. So if you do so, this will not change the meaning, but it will destroy the beauty. And if if you know the rules, then it's good to stick to the rules. Okay, but some mistakes, like in order to pronounce ha, you have to properly train the muscles in your throat. If you don't do so, you will end up replacing this ha with the this one, and the moment you do so, you will fall into lahni jali, the clear mistakes, which will change the meaning of Quranic words, and these mistakes are dangerous. So similarly, changing a vowel like any harka, instead of saying Nasrullahi, if you say Nasrullaha, or adding or removing any letter, replacing the letters, this will all fall into lahne jali, the clear mistakes which change the meaning of Quranic words. If you want to know more about lahne jali or lahne khafi, I have a lesson on the YouTube on my channel regarding this, so you can check that one out. And if you wish to learn more rules of all these surahs, surah Masad, surah Ikhlas, Falak, Nas, so you can also check out my videos where I have broken down the rules in very much detail according to the Tajweed. So now, last recitation we are doing right now, and in this recitation we will be focusing on the heavy letters in the green colors. Sorry, in the green color you will see the heavy letters. Okay, orange color is showing you the ghunna nasalization, and here this pink color is basically for what do you call it, ikhfa, but ikhfa will be in order to join. If you're not joining them, if you're pausing between them, there will be no ikhfa. If you join, you will say afwa janfa. You never say jan or the noon sound. So let's do Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. صدق الله العظيم. So if you want me to go over it one more time, or if you have any questions, please let me know. Inshallah, I will reply your queries. Meanwhile, if you want me to do one more time recitation, let me know. Okay. Now, this has brought us to the end of our session. So let's do one final recitation, and then inshallah we will end our session. If you want to learn any other surah, you can comment, and inshallah in the next class I can break down the rules of that surah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. So let's see the rules of nasalization. ورأيت الناس. So what is this word? Tannasa. Tannasa. And this word is innahu. Innahu. Now let's see the heavy words. Nasrullahi. 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 Wara'ay. Wara'aytan. Wara'aytan. يدخلون يدخلون ربك ربك واستغ تغ غين is heavy واستغفر. Okay, and the endings are والفتح والفتح, and this is أفواج أفواج, and this one is توابا توابا. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. صدق الله العظيم وصدق النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم. So this was it for Surah Nasr. We have done the recitation, we have seen all the rules of Tajweed, then we have done the spellings and the final recitation by keeping the necessary rules in consideration. So I'm ending the session here for now. Inshallah, I will see you in the next live session, and in that session we will continue with the Surah Kafirun. Okay, if you wish to see the sessions on Surah Masad, Surah Ikhlas, Surah Falak and Nas, and Surah Fatiha as well, so you can check my channel. And if you have any suggestions, any any recommendations, you are most welcome to comment. So one more time, Ramzan Mubarak to all of you, and inshallah I will see you in the next live session, which will be on Surah Al-Kafirun. Stay tuned, keep learning, have a good day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.